What's scarier, the monster outside your door or the one inside your mind? Welcome to Fearapy Sessions, horror from our perspective. We are your hosts, Pam and Domonique, two Black women therapists who live and breathe horror. And every week, we'll dive into the creepiest corners of film and culture through the lens of psychology, identity, and lived experience. From psychological thrillers to haunted houses, from the horror of not being believed to the monsters of the mind. No fear goes unanalyzed. Welcome.
Welcome. This is Fearapy Sessions. Welcome, everyone. I'm your co host, Pamela.
And I'm Dominique.
We welcome you to our discussion on It. Welcome to Derry. So, this is episode number 4 with It. And so, it's
Yes,
starting to pick
episode
up.
number 4.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up a little bit with It, right? And so, just to give you kind of a synopsis of what's going on in episode 4, because there's so many directions to go in. They had like 3 or 4 different scenes really in this
Yeah,
episode. So many different I don't even know what the main storyline is in this one. It was a lot going on. So this one is titled "The Great Swirling of Apparatus of Our Planet's Function." That's a mouthful for a
that
title
is a
of a
mouthful.
of a story, but this is the origin, right? So they're going back to the origin so that we can know the origin, the history of it or that entity. And we're gonna talk a little bit about, a prank that's going on in the school, and good old Marge might finally have gotten her due justice a little, or
My
maybe a
goodness.
little too much. And an
Yeah.
accident happened during a fishing trip. So there's a lot to uncover in this. So let's go back and forth. Let's
Spoiler
see.
alert.
Spoiler alert. I'll make sure to put that a little earlier in here. But spoiler alert, if you hadn't
Spoiler
watched it,
alert. If you, yep,
catch up, right?
watch it.
So yes.
Yeah.
So let's jump right on in. What is something that you want to kind of call out from just in general what you got from this episode?
I find it interesting. Again, we had that whole conversation about believing kids, right? So when we remember last episode where we were like, "Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen with those pictures," and I think I said that. I think you said they were going to be blank, and I was like, "They're not going to believe them." It was a mix of both.
Yeah.
It was a mix. It was an absolute mix of both, but they definitely were not believed. That was just a quick note that I wanted to
Yeah,
mention was that,
and
yeah.
to that point, in the movie, it could manipulate pictures in like real time. Like while you're sitting there
Mhm.
looking at it, he'll make the picture a motion picture in like real
Yep.
time. And so I knew something. I thought it was going to be dramatic, like they burst into flames or something. But he did let you see him on that one.
Yes, but I wonder we don't know if the people behind the sheriff saw it. I'm
Yes,
wondering if we only saw that from the sheriff's point of view.
yes.
Remember, he has had contact with him.
And he's been there
So,
his whole
I'm
life. So
I'm thinking that he was able to see it. We don't know if the others were able to see it.
yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a backstory from Bowers at some point where
Yeah.
maybe he had an interaction. Because once you see it as a kid, then when you're an
Mhm.
adult, you see it too. But they did a lot of adults seeing stuff in this episode, so we can definitely talk a little
They
bit
did.
about that. So, yeah.
They did for sure. But one of the biggest points that I appreciated was getting I guess we got to the origin story. Hearing the native lore about where he came from and where this entity came from was exciting because that's what we questioned, right? And we were,
Yeah.
listen, why are we good? Like,
Right.
why are we good in like figuring this out? Because in the last episode, there was a question of like, we noticed that they were protecting, that they were kind of guarded from him. And I can't remember if it was you or me. We asked, like, okay, he must be buried underneath that car. And then I think I said that and you said, I think there's like a boundary and an understanding. Both
Yeah.
a boundary and I was like, this is excellent, but also to think that like his kryptonite is his own, what, vessel, travel vessel, or whatever you wanna call it?
Yes. Yeah. And so that's what holds him in. It's an indestructible spaceship, so therefore, that's the only thing material that can penetrate or keep him inside of it.
Yeah,
So that's really interesting. And now
yeah.
to that just that point, and even talking about, like, the Bowers thing, I think we're gonna see so many other ones because they went back in this one. They went back. They didn't even give an exact time frame for it,
No.
but from what they're saying, the spaceship crashed millions of years ago, right?
Yes, so it was before colonizers came over.
Yeah, yeah, so it sounds like the tribe had things on lock for a while, though.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
so that I love that they brought all those pieces in there. I do wanna touch on the spaceship one because that was one of my points is the how familiar it sounds to Tommyknockers to me, and so I did my due
Yeah.
diligence and I rewatched Tommyknockers this week. I have not watched this since I was, like, 8 or 9 or something. And it's a I didn't realize it's not a movie, it was one of those made for TV things just
The
like the
series.
original It. I guess that's just how they did Stephen King in the '90s. And so
Mhm,
I hope someone remakes it. I think there's conversation about it, but basically in Tommyknockers, a spaceship crashes in Haven, which is, I guess, east of, Derry, and so
mhm,
someone found the spaceship in the '80s is when the movie took place, and they started taking pieces of it, and these pieces were making them super, super smart, and they were creating all types of gadgets and stuff, so this whole thought process of the spaceship itself being an entity and creating, weapons or things, that's interesting to
mhm.
me. And so if I
Yeah,
really feel like it should be a bigger link, but they are 2 separate crashes if you read both novels, and one was in Haven, one was in Derry, so they're not connected, but I feel like they can do something to tie them together.
yeah, and now I'm wondering if there is a tie for all of the
Mhm.
stories in that way. So, yeah, you got me ready to, like, reread and watch
Yeah,
everything.
because Derry's like the
Yeah,
middle of it all, so why couldn't it
there he is.
that's Pet
Mhm,
Cemetery, like, I mean,
mhm.
everything, right? Cujo, you don't
Yep,
everything. So, yeah.
yep, yep. Okay. I think, well, my next point was around there's currently conspiracy theory on the socials that Dick is the embodiment of Pennywise. And so I'm curious of what you think about that because I guess I could see it, but I don't think so. Like I don't agree. So they were saying based on that scene where he got into the kid's head and he had that moment where he made Rose's eye twitch. I thought that that was Pennywise in that moment. But then he came out and I was like, "Oh, yeah, like this is him in this kid's head. Like this is just him being there, but folks are saying because of the way he did that and the look on his face, that they feel like he might be the embodiment of Pennywise. I thought he was going to encounter Pennywise when he did what he did because it put us in that dark place with like all the doors. And then he went into that room with his memory. But what do you think?
I don't think it was Pennywise. I
Yeah, I
believe
don't
that
either.
he was just being an a-hole, is what I think. I think this is when we first were introduced to Dick in The Shining, he's like an old man, 70, 80 years old,
Hmm.
right? So he was humble and this sweet old man, but it seems like right now, in this current setting, he is a smart aleck, his ego is huge, he think he got it. He like his shine is different to him right now, it's something special. And he felt like, "Gotcha." That's what I think that smile was, like, "Ha ha, you thought you were in a memory, but it was me, gotcha." But I feel as though that young man just set him up too, though.
I
I
think so too. I think so too.
So I think it's a gotcha back situation,
But he did point to the house.
yeah, which I think is kind of a setup.
Yeah,
I don't think that's where the weapons to fight him are. I think that's where he's at.
I agreed.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
that's
that
where
and
the
that was the
monster is.
conversation. Yeah, that was a conversation I had with my husband. I was like, I think that that is actually where he's buried or locked in.
Mhm.
And so he has sent them there for sure.
Yeah,
Thought
I
that
think he got
he
pushed
set them up.
underground when they did the whole boundary stuff. He got pushed underground, and so he can travel throughout Derry outside of the boundaries underground. That's
Underneath,
his way.
underground.
And so I think that that house is directly on top of where the people float.
Mhm,
And keeping in mind that house was also represented in, like, the, Dark Tower. So that house is
mhm.
like portal type situation.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so
yeah.
I think he it was a got you moment, but I think he got back with it.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure because it seemed like he was fighting him getting into his head.
Mhm,
And so I was like, "Oh, I wonder if this kid has some kind of powers because why is it seem so hard for him
mhm.
to get in his head?" But yeah, no, I
And,
got yeah.
my next point, I can kinda bounce off of that thought. He's a member of the, Maturin tribe, which,
Mhm.
I hope I'm saying it right. That's the name of the turtle. Right? And so the turtle who, that's mentioned in the book, turtle that's mentioned in the Dark Towers, this turtle was
Mhm.
like the creator of universe type situation. So that's the name
Yeah.
of their actual tribe. When they buried pieces of the ship, they put it in turtle shell. So
Yep.
so this is kind of that tribe's thing. And so
Mhm.
they used passed down tales to explain to the children of the weight that was on their shoulders to make sure this entity was locked away. And so that's why it was so hard to get into his head because it has been put there that you keep this locked away.
Yeah.
You
That
don't
makes
talk to
sense.
anyone about this. And so it was hard to get there because he was disciplined to do that. Since he
Mhm.
was since his aunt explained it to him when he was younger. So, but I love that they are putting so much emphasis on the turtle, and
Yeah.
especially making this the name of the actual tribe. And so it's another example of leave stuff alone that you don't understand.
Right.
Let
And
these
I believe
individuals doing what they do.
yeah, isn't North America Turtle Island
I
to
think
Native
so.
folks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so, and I love the fact that they mentioned in here that their tribe has existed before there were borders. So they used to go back and forth to
Yeah.
Canada from
Yeah.
Maine. I love that component of it. And then
I
these
love that
settlers come
comment that
and
she made.
yeah,
Uh-huh, and now you've created borders that weren't there. When she
yeah,
said that, I was like,
that's real.
that's real, like, that is
Yeah,
so deep that
yeah,
borders are imaginary lines,
yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah. And it just it's one of those things where it was in their head to protect the land. The land was not theirs.
Mhm.
They didn't own the
It
land,
was
but
not.
settlers came and they took the land and they pretty much was like, "What do you guys know? We're gonna hunt over here." And that didn't turn out well.
Mhm.
So it was completely massacred.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
To me, and I said this when thinking about the turtle, at this time, during that time frame before the settlers, there was no Pennywise. It was just it. I think they call it the Galoo or something like
Yeah.
that, the Galoo.
Yep.
There was no clown persona to represent it at this time because they probably didn't know what a clown was. But the things that it was like white men. That's what they were afraid of.
Yep.
They
Was
were
and that's
afraid of
what
the
she
white
said. It was like it was the embodiment of fear, and I remember when I saw him, I was like, "Are those white zombies?"
what it was. And not and
That's
a
what
white
they
priest.
were.
It
Yeah.
was a priest. That the
Yeah,
last
it
one was
was
a
the
priest.
yep, there was a
And
priest. Yep,
and if
and
you know
so that makes
history
sense.
If you know
Yep.
history, that's how a lot of the settlers used their religion to try to
Mhm.
indoctrinate different groups of people, and so that was
And they
probably
use religion
horrifying.
to justify
Mhm.
stealing land.
Yes. So, I thought that
Yep.
was a good twist to it, as well. So,
Yes.
okay, what else did you have? What other thoughts?
The other thought that I had was and this is kinda jumping to the end, the incident with Marge. And so we have that room or the prank, the bullying that was taking place. There was 2 things in that. One, the Losers Club noticed, and I was like, "Now why didn't y'all jump in?" Right? I get it, suspense, it's the drama. But
Mhm.
I'm like, "Y'all clearly see and y'all are suspecting something is off. If that is your friend and she is a part of the Losers Club, and your spidey senses are tingling, why didn't they hop up in that moment to, like, run interference or to say to her, like, "I think" like, go after her in the bathroom, like, "I think this is like, something's off. I think that I know that they heard him. There's no way that they didn't hear, like, the plot. Why didn't they make it out to that bathroom before Marge came out?" And then the part 2 of the question is, Marge has never encountered this thing.
Yeah,
Why did it get to her?
yeah. I think it was trying to get to Lily, and Mars was just a kinda pawn. 'Cause, sometimes people like the Bauer gang, they use them as
Mhm.
pawns to get to the real people that they want, to
Right.
scare.
But the way that it went the way that it did Marge
Yeah,
was
it did her
I'm
dirty.
like, was this an intentional attempt to set Lily up?
Mm,
Like, what are you trying to do, and why is it going after Lily so hard? Is it because she was the only living witness to what happened originally?
mhm. Yeah. And Lily has discovered a solution. So her solution
Mhm.
is he feeds off of fear. He's just trying to season us up a little bit, making us scared. So, hey, my mama got these drugs, pop one. And it dropped in the toilet. I would have died. It
It's
can have
like, "No,
me.
she not. No, she not.
She
No,
did.
she not." And she stuck her hand right in that toilet, and I was like, "Oh."
Right at that moment, with my thing with toilets and stuff, public toilets, I just say, come get me it. Come get me. Come on and get me.
A middle school toilet at that or a high school toilet? No, thank
I'm
you.
good. Right. And so to your point, I think it was trying to set Lily up because, she'll be straight back to Jennifer. Yeah. And
Yep.
I want to put a side note in there too. I'm waiting to see what comes about the nurse who keeps helping Lily. Is she even
Yeah,
real?
I don't know. I was hoping to see other people in that scene to see if they're looking at her like,
I couldn't see her
because I
reflection.
don't yeah, because I don't think she's real.
I don't think she's
I
real.
don't yeah, I don't think she's real at all, and if she is, I think that she is a former patient there.
Mhm. First, the last, show, I thought she was gonna be something with the turtle too. I thought that was gonna be like a guardian angel type thing, somebody looking out for her. But right now, she's
Mhm.
just it's something weird about her, and I went and rewatched it and was like, "I cannot see her reflection." They're sitting beside a
I didn't
mirror,
notice that.
and I could see Lily's reflection, I could see the people behind her reflection. I'm like, "I guess it's the angle," but I could not see her reflection, and I think that's weird. And so I'm waiting to
I
see
did not
what's
notice that.
uncovered
Okay.
what's uncovered with that. So just that throwing that so we can pay attention for next episode. But I do think that, it messed with Marge, but let's be honest, because I texted you while I was watching it, was like, "Somebody please come get Marge," and boom, as soon as I said
We've been wondering the whole time, like, why is the entity going after these innocent, sweet little kids
"Hmm?
and not the obnoxious ones?
Yeah,
And they got Marge
yeah,
because that scene was hard to watch.
it was. It was kinda nasty.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
wondering, to your point, I think it's going after these other kids because it's stress hormones, right? So if
Mhm.
fear tastes good, how does anxiety taste? How does stress taste? How does poverty taste?
Mm.
Okay. So these
Mhm,
kids,
mhm.
these losers, you have a black kid, you have a kid who lost their dad, you have a kid who's Cuban, you got all these different kids. Their stress level is different. It's not like the normal Caucasian children walking around, they got other stressors. So they probably their stress hormone is probably like beaming, like the
Mhm.
smells are coming. So Mars probably is a boring taste. It's probably bland. It don't want that. It wants some spice. It want a little bit of spice.
Unseasoned.
A little, yeah.
Unseasoned. But trying to think of what Marge would be other than deception
Mhm.
and desperation, because
Yeah.
that's what she's
Which
given.
is common
Yeah.
for kids her age. She wants to be popular, she wants to fit in. She doesn't wanna be viewed the way Lily is viewed to people. They were really about to pull a straight up mean girl/Carrie situation
Carrie.
on her.
Yep. That is exactly what it was. Like, as soon as I saw him, like, speak to her, I said, "This is a setup.
Yeah,
This is a
100%.
setup," and it's unfortunate, but this is a setup, and I hope she doesn't fall for it. But I don't her there's a lack of self-awareness there for her, though. Like, absolutely. There is a f e they are 99% responsible for how that was going to turn out,
Yeah.
but I still give her 1% because where is your self-awareness?
Mhm.
These people ain't ever talked to you. You've been bullied by them. You know that people think a certain way about you. What I guess hope?
Yeah.
Like, things return I guess it's hope, and I can't blame her for being
Attention.
hopeful, but I I yeah, I was like, "Girl, you know
Yeah.
them people
Yeah.
never talk to you. So
Yeah.
why would you possibly think that this guy who has never spoken to you and is friends with someone who bullies you
Just randomly likes
would
you
be
today.
interested?"
Just
Mhm.
today, out of nowhere. So she didn't
Out
see
of nowhere.
and I wanna point at something you said a little while ago with the loser crew, not so much even your spider, senses
Mhm.
tingling. Why are y'all not looking out for each other? Why are y'all not on each other's
Right.
heels with you when you know what's going on? I
Why was
understand
she
y'all got
sitting
the
by
drugs.
herself?
I understand you got the little pills, but how
Yeah.
about you're there with them so if something pop off, you're close.
Right, like, they were all sitting together, and she was sitting off by herself. Even if she was sitting there with Marge, there was plenty of other space,
Mhm,
and I'm sorry, we're other than the fact that we have classes that are not together,
mhm.
w we not leaving each other's sight until we go home.
Yeah, you're in the cab. Everybody's in the cafeteria, sit together. I agree with that. Like, if you're going through this together, sit together.
Mm,
So I 100% agree with that. Some of the other points that I noticed or wanted to kinda just talk about was had a thought about Shawshank. I know they didn't
'kay.
really touch on it a lot in this episode, but I went back and had to go I wanted to see the time frame of when the actual movie
Mhm.
took place. So when Andy, who was the main character in Shawshank Redemption in Red, he's like the co-star, I guess. They are in Shawshank during this time, so we're in the 1960 something. Andy didn't get out until I'm sorry, he didn't escape out of Shawshank until 1966, but he was in there for 19 years before 1966, so he is literally making his plan during this time.
Yep.
It didn't get out on parole until 1967, so again, he was there for 40 years before that. So he was there. So I am wondering and hoping that they give us, like, a little it's like, I don't want Hank to go to Shawshank, but if he gon' go
I'm hoping that, um, homegirl is doing her big one and that he
Yeah,
doesn't end up there.
yeah, and, I think she might be doing too much, though.
You think so? I don't
She's
think
doing
people are doing enough.
Yeah, but I think Derry is not the South. Things are a little different, and so she's walking as if she's in the South. She's like, "Imma call MLK, JFK, RFK," like,
Mhm,
she's like, "I'm gonna get everybody down here if you don't let him out." But this is the town that deals with Pennywise. Those
mhm,
names are not scaring anybody at this point, right?
yeah.
So but yeah.
But also the other side of that is you're right, like, you're up north, the assumption was, "Oh, this is safety. This is
Yes.
somewhere that is accepted," and they feel untouched by what's
Mhm.
going on, like, there is a intentional attempt at separation between thoughts and behaviors between the North and the South when they're the same.
Yeah.
It's just a little more overt and in your face down south versus up north. Um,
It's still untold
and
rules,
so
unsaid rules.
yeah, yeah, and so I think that she knows what's up. Like, she's
Mhm.
not dumb, she's not like, she knows exactly what's going on, and so she's just like, Imma use the tools that I got in my toolbox, and you can
Yeah.
play with me if you want to,"
Yeah.
and mention that. I mean, it didn't yeah, but I love how she was like, "Got it. Bet. You say that this is the rule, this is the policy. Imma work my way around it," and went and got the letter and said, "Make it happen."
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And to your point, they know the rules. She knows how it is down south, and even though they're up north, when she told her
Mhm.
husband that her son had a girl he's interested in, the first thing he said is
Is
she
is she
is
is
she like if you know, you know. Like he's like he needs it's important. Like he knows it
it's
can't be
still
a
that
white
worry,
girl.
yeah.
Yeah, it
It's still
can't
that
be.
worry and that fear. I mean, loving v. Virginia didn't it hasn't passed yet. So
Yeah.
it's still technically quote unquote illegal. So yeah, there is that concern and that fear.
Yeah, and I think Hank confirmed that. That was really one of my last points is his confirmation
Mhm.
that where was he? And, and my question is, who was Hank with? He confirmed that it was with a white female. Who? I need to
See,
know.
when he was like, "I can't," like, basically, "I can't tell you," um, my immediate thought, I don't know why my immediate thought was, he was with a man. Like, he was with a
He would have
man.
been better off.
I agree. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. I was like, he was with a man, and it was probably with somebody that people know,
Mhm.
and he is afraid of the the backlash. It is the '60s, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is absolutely '60s. That was a justified fear. But when he said my husband said, "No, I think it's a white woman." And I'm like, "You think so?" And when he said
Yeah.
that, I was like, "Oh, damn, I wished it was a man."
Yeah, and honestly, if it was a man, it would have fit the brand of it better because there's a lot of, like, LGBTQ fear and whatnot in
Yeah.
but I think that's how it was always in the novel, but in the first chapter 1, the movie, they get
Mhm.
onto that. So that's a thing in Derry. But in
Mhm.
this case, really, that would have been some persecution, but white woman is like death. It's a death sentence.
And a married one at that.
And so with that said, it has to be a wife of someone
Who
who has
is it?
already been identified. If it
You think
wasn't,
so?
I feel like the audience doesn't know. But it's stuff that we haven't
I
been
think
let
it's
in
the
on it.
sheriff's wife,
I
though.
think so. And that's what I'm saying. It has to
Have
be
we met her?
no. It has to be
Okay.
a wife of a character that's already been introduced. A wife or mom or something. So that's Sheriff
Mhm.
Bauer's wife. That could be a Maddie from the beginning, his mom. Which
Mhm.
could be why
Mhm.
he didn't mind Maddie sneaking into the movies,
That's true.
that's a
He knew
thing.
his story. That is true.
It could be Lily's moms, she be popping
Mhm.
pills and stuff, having fun, so it could be Lily's mom, but
No,
her husband's
Lily
deceased.
Lily's mom is taking mommy's little helpers,
Mommy's
and that
little
is legit
helpers.
what they called them.
Yes,
Like, they were, if y'all know or if you don't know,
yes,
women got put on some shit
yes,
back then,
yeah,
and I mean, people are still taking stuff now, like, it's important. Look, I'm not even gonna lie, definitely
yeah,
take anxiety
yeah,
medication
if you not
because
taking them, I'm worried
it's
about
hard.
you.
Yeah, it's
It's
hard out
hard in the
here in these
street.
streets, but they used to people weren't going to therapy. They weren't allowing people to discuss what they were dealing with, and women were supposed to just be grateful
Yeah,
that they were married, had children, had a house, and had something to take care of.
right,
Nah, this is hard. It's hard and it's overwhelming, and I can't imagine what it was like, and I don't want to ever know what it was like back then for women with very little autonomy. So yeah, so she
and
had
she
her
was a
mommy's little
widow.
helpers.
She was a widow,
And
throw
she
that
was a
in there
widow.
too. So, she got a lot going on, but, it would be interesting if it is Sheriff Bauer's wife, 'cause that could be why, like, fast forwarding to, like, the '80s with the Bauers, why there has that so racist. So, if that's your
Mhm.
history. So, I think
Mhm.
that's I can't wait to see who the wife is, and is she worth
Yeah.
dying over? Because either way, he's about to lose his life, either way.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to seeing how he's gonna get out of that. And she's
Mhm.
gonna whoever she is gonna probably lose her life too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would yeah, I mean, he made that deal. You figure out how to get me out of this without this being
Mhm.
identified, but I still wanna know who it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want him to have to face the consequences of
Mhm.
this, because it's unfortunate that this is gonna that's gonna be the result
Yeah.
because he's a black man. Like, it's one thing and come on, shame on you. for messing around with a
Mhm.
married woman.
Yes.
But if he was a white man, like, that would just be
An
a
affair.
scandal,
Yeah,
right? An
that would just be
affair,
an
a
affair.
scandal. But this is a death sentence for him.
Yeah. And the thing is, just looking at the rest of the series, movies, Hank is not a character. He's
Mm,
not anyone's lineage, and so I'm not very optimistic.
mm.
Like, Mike is gonna make it. I think his dad's gonna make it because technically in the movie, he goes to live with Mike goes to live with his grandfather. So, I don't know how long Will is gonna make it because
Yeah,
young Mike lived with his grandfather, so we know he's the dad is gonna make it in the current series, and so I kinda put those kinda things together.
mhm.
So, yeah. So what else are we missing? I know there was the fishing trip where
You
that went
Yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say you were briefly discussing the fishing trip, and that was wild, and the biggest thing with that was the first time that an adult
So prove.
even had a thought of like, "Whoa, like something is going on," and so he went to the people and were like, "What is happening here?
Yeah,
Like, this thing
yeah.
left bruises and cuts on my child, what is happening here?"
Mhm.
And we know he can see the balloons.
Yes. And I'm wondering how bored is Pennywise with him because cannot show
Has
fear.
no fear.
He has no fear. So he again unseasoned chicken, right? Like he don't want
But
him.
he does have fear, though.
Mhm.
He has fear for his child. And we saw that in his response to hearing him scream and running in there and grabbing him up and seeing his arms. Like, there there was fear. Like, I think danger is not something direct danger towards himself is not something that he has, I believe. That's what it is. But when it comes to family, because clearly he's fearful of what might happen to his wife if she don't cut it out,
Yeah.
in his
I
words,
think a lot of it's
kind
anger.
of, and then yeah, you think so?
I think a
But
lot of it is him showing
I
his
think he's afraid. Yeah, no, I think he's afraid for his son. And because then when you have somebody was looking at me and he was up and looking out and he came outside and he's doing all that hollering and he sees that balloon, I was like, "Mhm, mhm." Like, Pennywise is creeping in there.
Yeah, but I definitely that was very it wasn't smart him running down the street the way he did because it's like,
Nope, I
don't
was
do that."
afraid for him in that
I was
moment.
afraid, yeah, I'm like, "You're a black man yelling in the street, stop.
"You're not on base."
You're not on base." That's right, and so that's why I'm wondering if it's fear because his reaction is very I think he runs to fear because it's kind of that fight or flight. He has a
Mhm,
different reaction to fear. A lot of people, flight, but he's ready to fight.
yeah. But, I mean, you can still yeah, you can still have fear and
Mhm.
be ready to fight. I mean,
True.
that's why we have those responses because if he wasn't fearful, he'd be like, it's whatever, it doesn't matter." But fight or flight comes into play with danger, recognizing that there is danger.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that.
So, yeah. I mean, maybe it's not, but I think it is. I think it has something to do with his only point of fear comes for his son.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
his
makes
wife,
sense.
but definitely his son.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I don't. I'm not flight. I'm not running. You're not gonna wear me out. I'm fighting.
No.
We're gonna go hand in hand.
Comes
Let's
to
go.
my baby,
Yeah, let's go.
we
Because
fighting.
I know the rules. Jason and Michael Myers are gonna get me. So while Imma fight you, let's fight. I'm not taking my
Yeah.
eyes off you. So, yes. So, alright, what else are we missing? Missing anything else?
I
I
don't
think we
think so.
kinda
I
touched
think
on
that
everything.
was yeah, I think that was it for this episode.
Yeah. So, yeah, so a lot of unanswered questions, like,
A lot.
a lot, like, what's the house? Is it above where they float? What who was what white woman you been with? Like, we need to know these
Right.
these
We need
answers.
to know.
And
We need to know.
I hope I know we wish bad on Mars, but I hope she's okay. So it really stopped at a cliffhanger in this episode. Like, do they think Lily did it to her? Does she tell them that Lily didn't do it?
That's what I can like, ooh, that was a good cliffhanger because I'm like, she knows that something was going on with her eyes and she did this to herself and Lily was trying to save her, but in the shock, is she gonna forget?
Or are they both gonna end up at Juniper? Yeah. So a lot to think about.
Mhm.
So that's
Mm,
it, y'all.
okay.
That's episode 4. Like, if we missed something major, please let us know. It was just a lot to uncover. Tell us what you think
Yeah.
about Dick. Do you think Dick was Pennywise in that moment? We don't think that he was, but we could be wrong.
I could see how somebody could think that, but yeah, we don't think so.
That smile was creepy. It was creepy. And so, but nonetheless, that's episode 4. Leave your comments. Let us know. Dominique, can you tell them where they can hear or see us?
Yes, so you can catch us in the recording on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. All of it at Fearapy Sessions.
Well, until next time,
All right, we'll
bye.
see you next session. Bye.